The community of Socorro. This community was a Franciscan mission built around the 1800s to serve the Native Americans of the zone and the rural area. Surprisingly, this community only has one zip code, which is the 79927. And per the United States Census Bureau of 2017, the population estimates about 34,048 people. This community serves many different residents, and the largest population is the Hispanics or Latinos, which is the 96.7%. And from there is the African American, American Indian, Asian, and white alone. That's per the United States Census Bureau. The median family income is $12,146, and the median gross rent is $624. The high school or GED graduates are 57.3% only, and bachelor's degree or higher is only 6.3%. And the information is from the United States Census Bureau of 2017. While researching the Socorro community, I found out that the community has several historical places, and the first one is the Rio Vista Farm. This farm was established in 1915 during the Great Depression, and this was a site that hosted the welfare programs from the area back in those days. But in 1950s, this farm was a processing center for the Bracero program. Hundreds of thousands of skilled Mexican workers migrated to the United States to help alleviate with the lands and the agriculture due to the Depression. This farm is still a part of Socorro, and the city of El Paso is trying to help them reestablish the farm alone, and then they're expecting more resources. The second historical place is the Socorro Mission. This mission was actually renamed La Purísima Concepción del Socorro Catholic Church, and is still in service. I was able to attend Mass, and as you can see, it has a lot of history. This is one of the third missions that were actually certified from the state of Texas. It's a tiny church, it's an old church, it's full of wood, and I found out that the wood that they use it's called the wood sleeping, and it's actually made for the railroads. This is the statue of San Michael, or San Miguel de Arcángel. And per one of the church attendants, Miss Maria Lopez, she told me the story. And that statue was supposed to be taken to New Mexico, but the statue wanted to lay there in Socorro because when they were gonna put her back into the carriage broke. So per the church community, they found out that San Michael wanted to stay in that community, and it has been their patron since then. It's a beautiful statue. It's about 2 meters long, and the church is really beautiful. It has this statue of a Christ laying down from the cross, and look at the wood. It's beautiful. It's all over the church. The ceilings are made of that specific wood, and the heating system that they use is different because of the wood. This is one of the entries, and it's an original door. This is where the chorus sings every Sunday when there's a church, and look at the ceilings. It's so beautiful. The church is so beautiful. This is a replica of La Pietà, which is the original. It's in the Vatican, but they have one. This is a picture of Miss Maria Lopez. She's the lady that told me the story about the San Michael. She was a beautiful lady. She was very helpful. And by the entrance of the church, you can see the 3 crosses, and it's a beautiful. And right in front of the church, there's a cemetery, and the lady told me that they have that cemetery because it's only for people with low income that don't have enough money for a funerary service. The third and last historical place was the Indian reservation called the Tiwas. They still reside in the area, and they're well respected by the Socorro residents. They both learn to acculturate with each other because the casino, the Speaking Rock Casino, is one of the main sources of entertainment and employment in the area. These are some houses that I was able to take pictures. As you can see, the frames and the architecture, they're very different. They're very beautiful. And I also learned that the community has their own rules. As you walk in, you can see the bear that they have, and then it says Pueblo of Isleta del Sur, and it has a big, huge sign saying that it's they have their own rules and is well respected by the federal government. I identified different programs and services for the Latino community here in Socorro, Texas, like the Health and Human Services Commission. They offer services such as Medicaid, TANF, and SNAP, which is the Supplementary Nutrition Program, which is for the food stamps. They have different clínicas or clinics, like the Socorro Medical Clinic. But in order for you to receive assistance, you have to be a U.S. citizen and have either private insurance or Medicare, the same as this pediatric clinic. You have to have any source of medical insurance. Another thing that we found is that for the adult daycare services, you have to have Medicaid or Medicare services to qualify. Undocumented immigrants are not allowed to receive services. The week you are allowed to receive services if you're undocumented, because the services are for the children who are born in the U.S. The Texas Tech Physician, it's located in the Socorro community as well, and they have services for undocumented immigrants. This is the police department agency for the Socorro area or the community, and that's the only police station that they have. This community is suffering from gangs and drugs related and crimes, robberies, crimes, and everything. And that's the only station that I found in the whole community. I asked the community members, and they told me that that's the only police station that they have in the area, and they're lacking security services because they have a lot of robberies, and they see a lot of drug trading in the streets, and they're afraid. Another community challenge would be the bad infrastructure of the area. The main street, they have big potholes like this one, and there are a lot of them. There's a lot of missing pavement on the streets. And as you can see, the majority of the roads, they're dirt roads. The Socorro community has different neighborhoods, and they're manufactured homes. As you can see, they're needing pavement in the streets and a fresh coat of new paint. One of the houses is from one of the ladies that I had the pleasure of interviewing, and she was a very sweet lady. She said that some of her neighbors, they're undocumented, so those are the only houses that they can actually afford, because they're only getting paid minimum wage, and the communities need an assistance in different ways. The Socorro community is very peculiar. They have a yerberia, and it's called El Indio, which is a naturalistic store, and I saw a lot of people coming in and out, and they don't have a lot of pharmacies. I found mostly that yerberia. And they have a Walmart, a Goodwill, of course, a T-Mobile store. And this is the one on the right is the Vista Market, is where I did one of the interviews. And they also have a lot of Cash America Pounds stores throughout the community. The roles of the social worker in the community of Socorro. They have different roles, and they mostly assist Latinos, because at the Socorro High School where I work, and she's actually Silvia Hernandez, she's one of the social workers that I was able to assist me. They have high rates of teenage pregnancy. They also have a program that they offer supper for children 18 and under. They also have another program called Communities in School, which is designed for students and their parents to improve different areas such as academic, behavior, and attendance. And this is one of the classrooms that they have at the school, and those are for the behavioral children. One of the main sources of income is the agriculture, and as you can see, this is a cotton field, and it's right in front of the Salvador Sanchez Middle School, and children are already accustomed to the view and the cotton distribution. Nowadays, teenagers, instead of attending or playing in parks, their source of entertainment is social media. I believe that in order of reducing teenage pregnancy, the government should pay a little bit more attention and interest in parks for the community and create better recreation services for them with bigger playground areas. Another way of reducing gangs and teenage pregnancy as well as drug usage is by having more church programs and larger church communities for the Latino community. In this particular church, since the sign is in Spanish, it welcomes Latino non-English speakers. The experience of the Latinos in the Socorro community. They're lacking assistance for the undocumented immigrants. We all are aware that being an U.S. citizen or a resident welcomes you to receive different aids, but the immigrants need to feel welcome and human as well by receiving assistance. Social workers in the area are aware of the lack of services for the undocumented, but they feel that they need the government to implement more services for this community. There are also many gaps in the services due to the lack of citizenship. I have worked for the Socorro community for over 5 years and didn't know about their historical places. Even though the community members are lacking many services, they're grateful for what they have and what the government provides for them. It was a great experience learning about this community. Finally, I have to be very grateful to Ms. Teresa Gonzalez because she was able to provide information. She's a community resident. And lastly, the references that I use. Thank you.